to tell you guys a secret. I literally feel like I'm at the Oscars. I have never had a presentation with all of I mean, this is like, I need a picture to take home to my kids. This is just amazing. And I have this, it's so fun. You can't see this, but this screen's like a teleprompter, like your movie star. I feel like I should run up and like, somebody's going to give me my award. I'm going to make a big speech. And I just had to tell you that. Well, you all deserve and plus I can't see you. I can barely see you. Like the lights, just like they have at the Oscars. It's great. You all deserve like a gift with purchase for coming today. I'm so excited that there's all these people in the audience. I really thought there were going to be like 2 people because I'm the last speaker doing the last presentation on the last day of, is it a 5-day? It's been a 5-day conference. So I wish I had a special gift to give all of you, but thank you so much for being here. Hopefully the presentation might be that for you. Excuse me, we're having a malfunction. This is when they would go to a commercial, right? In the Oscars. Or they'd show somebody fabulous sitting in the audience. Maybe at some point we could like put the camera on them so they can see themselves on the screen. It would be fun.
Okay.
Okay. We're set. Now we've got all the right things and we're good to go. Well, thank you very much for being here. I am thrilled, again, to see so many people in the audience, and I really hope to make this worth your time. And I've heard a lot of, Alisa, I really want to come to this presentation, but I have a flight. Seems like there's lots of people going to the East Coast, so can you get the best stuff in the first 30 minutes? And it reminded me of a quote that I love by Mark Twain, which is, I didn't have time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long one. If you get that? You might have to think about that for a few minutes. So what I decided is this is going to be a really good short letter. I'm going to get in the first, 30 minutes. Otherwise, the music will come and they'll take me off the stage. The first 30 minutes, the things I think you really need to know and that will be important. Also, I have my card in the back of the room. So if you would like me to email the presentation to you, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm doing that with the people that attended the workshop yesterday. Happy to do that today, so don't feel that you need to take tons of notes and write everything down. We'll send it to you. My email address is up on the board, or again, just take a card, email me, tell me which presentation you want, either the shopping presentation or the girlfriend presentation. Girlfriend, shopping, okay? Or you would like the shopping girlfriend presentation. Either way, go ahead and just send it to me. All right, let's get started. And this is all working. So here's how I thought we would spend our time together. I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are. And yesterday, a lot of people say, you didn't tell us a single thing about yourself. So I will tell you a little bit about my background as well. And then I want to talk about how we think about numbers and how we think about shopping and women. And that will give you a good idea of where the research results have come from and what that might mean for you and for your particular business. I'm looking up at the screen and I'm training myself now to learn how to look down here. And then when we do a survey, we have, let's say, 10 to 12 really interesting, not particularly trends, because trends is something that you see in the future, but something that's really starting to happen now that's becoming more mainstream. And I'm going to share 4 of them with you today. Here are some of the products that are going to go along with that. And then the next part, if you can see, is beauty themes, what you need to know. These are called vitals. They really haven't taken a grip in the mainstream yet, but they're very interesting, and they're the types of things that you can start thinking about and you can start incorporating into your own business. And there's usually about 6 to 10 of those that are happening culturally that are really going to start meshing in with what we're doing in the beauty industry. So I hope you find those as fascinating as I have in the last couple of months going through and doing the research on those. So let's start with, I'll start a little bit of my background and then just quickly who we are and where the numbers came from, and then we'll get into the meat. So my name's Alisa Beyer, and I founded the benchmarking company 2 years ago, and we do all consumer research. Before that, well, I started out as a bridal model. I don't want any laughing in the audience. People are going to the bridal model. That was 3 kids and 20 years ago, okay? No, before 3 kids and 20 years ago. So that's kind of when I got a taste of the whole fashion and the beauty industry, what women were buying, why they liked certain dresses, and I just really started thinking this is probably where my career was going to take me. But then I took a detour into the technology world, and I started a company, and this was very interesting back then. We started building websites for international countries that had embassies in Washington, and I sold that company, and I thought, well, that was nice, but that wasn't really that fun. You know, that wasn't as fun as being a bridal model. So I'm going to start a PR firm, and I'm going to do all beauty PR, and that's what I did. That firm was called the ProMark Agency, and we were able to build that firm up and sold that to a company called Hill & Knowlton and ran that company for a while. And that entrepreneurial type of bug bit me again. As much as I loved the big corporate business, I had my second child and said, well, what can I do now that's a little bit more fun? And decided to start a swimwear company. And that swimwear company was called AXM Swimwear. Had that for 2 years and sold that to Motoplaya right before I started this company. So I guess the theme through everything has been women, business, what women like, why they buy it, why they do what they do. And I decided that through all of that, it really came down to research. And so really went back to my roots with this company, which is TBC. All we do is think about what women want, why they buy it, why they think it, why they feel it. And it's just consumers across the country, and it is only US focused. I had a lot of that question yesterday. We test, whoop, we went back. Now I'm gonna have to know how to do the back button. Perfect, worked. We test things, people, you know, advertising campaigns. How do women relate to that particular campaign? We talk to women across the country, thousands and thousands of women through the panel that we run. So you can test the packaging, the lipstick color. Do they like this color? Do they not like that color? When they go into a salon, what do they want to hear first? What don't they want to hear? How fast do they want their hair cut? What kind of color? Do they want the same person doing the cut as they want doing the color? Any type of question that you can think of, that's what we're asking. The information I'm going to share with you today is from something called the Pink Report. It comes out 3 times a year. It's always different topics, but it's completely consumer focused. So today, what you're getting is just a little bit of a taste of the research results of the report that hasn't even been released yet. It's released next week to our subscription base, so you're getting a little advanced preview. And it's all about women and shopping. So how do we think about numbers? This is important because some of you are distributors, some of you are manufacturers, some of you are salon owners, and you probably all have different types of people coming in and buying your products. I am of the school, having been on the other side of the table as a manufacturer, I think household income is critical. I really love to know household income. I love to know the people that were buying the swimsuits or whatever the beauty products that we were selling, where did they fall into the spectrum? And I think today you'll see lots of research that's what we call the 99,000 and below. It's very mainstream. So today I'm going to talk about the words mainstream, I'm going to talk about affluent, I'm going to talk about high-end affluent, I'm going to talk about true wealth. So what do those really mean? Well, mainstream is 99,000 and below. You might say, well, Alisa, are you trying to tell me that somebody who makes $35,000 and somebody who makes $75,000 has the same purchasing behaviors? Very, very similar. No matter how often we run the statistics, we run the numbers, we see that it really matches up. But there is a little caveat, as you'll see there on the screen. It's called my tipping point caveat. And those are people that make $75,000 to $99,000. And there's a small group of people who are either starting or ending there. Meaning they're making $75,000 to $99,000 because they just got out of med school, or because they just got out of MBA school, or they just got out of college and they've got a really hot type of a career. So their income is moving up. They tend to be put into the affluent category in terms of their purchasing behavior. And those that are maybe at the peak, they've been working for years and years, now they're at $75,000, they tend to stay with their mainstream purchasing behaviors. So mainstream, 99 and below, and then we have affluent, which is $100,000 to $249,000. It's interesting, I have conversations with people at the US Census Bureau, and we always get into this, discussion where I'm like, 100,000, you just can't put that as a high-end affluent market anymore. But that's what they do, and that's all they measure to. So we really come in and say, well, what are the purchasing behaviors and attitudes of those people in that market? Everything that you're gonna hear today is mainstream and affluent. But I just wanted to share for interest sake, because I had some people say, well, I think my product goes for high-end affluent, or those are the people coming to my spa. So that's what this market is. High-end affluent is 250,000 plus. And then the truly interesting market is true wealth, which are people, doesn't matter what the household income is, It matters what the investable assets are, which means they have $1 million in investable assets that's not tied up in the equity in their home or in their cars. It's liquid. They don't need it to live day to day. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that as we go through the presentation. This is just a quick demographic. I'm not going to run through this, but if it's interesting, sometimes people are surprised at what America really looks like. What do we, how many people are 18 years old? How many people make over $150,000 a year? How many people make over $250,000 a year? It's a very, very tiny number. So this is where the demographics and the panel come from. Okay, so let's get into what we see going on in the market. I love, love, love this one. She is looking for transforming beauty products. I think this is just really the tipping point of what's going on. And what do I mean by that? How many people have seen all of the tanning products, self-tanning? What does it really mean? What is she looking for? Women want magic at home. I call it magic because I think that's really what we're looking for. We really want something to be different. We want to be different tomorrow than we were the day before after we used the product. That's how you have to think about it. It's nothing as dramatic as, I had liposuction or I had something else done. It's not that dramatic. It's what I call easy enhancements. So just think about easy enhancements. It's lip plumping, it's teeth whitening. I mean, years ago, you have to think back. Years ago, you couldn't get your teeth whitened. You had to go to, a special dentist. Now it's everywhere. So think of it from that perspective. It has to cost much less than the woman who's going to the plastic surgeon's office. That's what we're looking for. So here's some numbers for you because that's kind of what I do. Love the numbers. I'm looking for a beauty transforming at-home type of product. It's very similar between mainstream and affluent. I just want to break that out. The affluent market may be looking for a little bit more, but really all women, doesn't matter what their household income is, we're all looking for products that are going to prevent us from having to go to the plastic surgeon's office. And let me give you a little caveat on this. It doesn't mean that she's not willing to go to the plastic surgeon's office because women are going there in droves. It means I want to figure out how long I can postpone having to go do that. Okay, so think about it from that perspective. Also, the face has it when it comes to this category. We do a lot of tracking about what women are buying in the last 12 months because that really starts to show you a certain amount of trends. What you didn't, we saw mineral foundations being bought, 2 years ago, the percentages started moving up. Really keep your eye on that one. So look at facial cleansing, white cloths, anti-aging treatment. Personally, I was a little bit surprised about facial masks. I mean, it just keeps coming, keeps coming, keeps coming. It's just not something that was on my radar. Moisturizers with self-tanning and the mineral makeup. So those numbers are pretty consistent. If you look at everything under 4.5%, it's about 1%. So if you look at all the other products that are being bought for the first time, market share is about 1%, and these go from 4 to 8. So that's pretty significant when you look at those products. Anti-aging, it is so here to stay. It is not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, you'll see what I wrote on the screen. I think it's just people are becoming more obsessed with it, more and more obsessed with staying young looking. And the part that's interesting probably for most of you is it's not women that are in their 50s. It's not women in their 60s. It's going further down the chain. Women that are 40 and women that are 30 are answering questions and showing that they are absolutely as obsessed with every little wrinkle and what's going on as women that are in their 50s and 60s, which basically means market share, what? Expanding. Great opportunities for everybody. Now, this one's going to be controversial. If you've read other research out there, there's a lot of people that truly feel that women don't have favorites when it comes to shopping. I completely disagree with that. My research has shown, and talking to women across the country, we do play favorites. I'm going to give you some statistics. And affluent women, this is where there's some real differences between the affluent market and the mainstream market. So you look at the stats. Do you have a store to shop at that you like most for all of your beauty products? 61% of mainstream America says, yes, there's one store that I go to. And 44% of the affluent market says, yes, there's one store that I primarily like to go to. So where do we start getting the differences? Walmart, 44%, and I've run this survey for the last 3 quarters. It's always within a percentage in terms of where all of these numbers are. So that hasn't changed that much in the last year. Walmart, 44% and 11% of the affluent market. But still think about that. When you look at the affluent market as 100 to 249, 11% of them are still shopping at Walmart. That's something you wouldn't have seen 5 or 6 years ago. So Target, more affluent people I think we know are shopping at Target. It's still a pretty significant percentage of people buying their beauty products there. And then we start to see some differences. We see the specialty stores, Bath & Body, and we see Sephora really taking a much more large market share in the affluent market. Important to note. And then also, I find it really interesting with Avon and Mary Kay. So Avon and Mary Kay are very similar in the mainstream market, but when you go to affluent, Mary Kay holds her own and Avon basically falls off the chart. So these are just some trends there. Now, of those women that said, yes, there's a store that I shop at that I really like for most of my products, remember it was 61% and 44%? Well, 80% of them, or 44%, both affluent and me, buy 80% of their product at that store. Now, if you're a retailer or if you're a manufacturer, I don't care what your role is in the chain, I love this statistic. I mean, I think there's so much opportunity here to create repeat purchases and to really pull people into your store, to your product. And there's a couple of reasons that this is going to work. I mean, there's a couple of cultural things that are going on that are basically saying things are getting so complicated for me, just make it easy. Just make it easy for me. Just give me one store I love and let me go there and shop and get most of my products. I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay, this is something that over the last, I would say probably 12 to 18 months, I just see the numbers climbing. And there's probably 2 very specific reasons I'll share with you. But she is definitely looking for sales. She's definitely price driven. It's really getting higher and higher. Look at that. 71% of mainstream said, I'm more price conscious now than I was a year ago. And 53% of the affluent market is saying exactly the same thing. And although I don't have the high-end affluent and the true wealth on here, you know what that number is for them? It's about the same. So it almost doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter what the bank looks like, you're worried. You're worried. We're very, very worried culture right now. We're confused and worried. I'll talk about those 2 things. But we're most worried because of the economy. We're just worried. We've got the war, we've got presidential elections coming up, we've got so many things going on. For the first time, people are just like, I'm just going to hold. The number of second homes that, vacation homes, which were just crazy 5 or 6 years ago, it's just almost like the market's just stopped. We're worried. We're very worried. So this one I also always love. We do a lot of advertising studies across the country. We love to run these focus groups and we bring advertisements out, and I've got these fabulous New York advertising agencies and they created this just, fantastic ad. And we're sitting there and I'm doing the focus groups or someone else from the company, and guess what? She didn't like it. Didn't like it, didn't like this, didn't like this, didn't like this. It's always fun when you have to sit back in the executive room later. And it's always the same response. Just tell her what it is. Tell her what it is and tell her what it does. This isn't a time of fantasy. It's not even a time of aspiration anymore. Just tell me what the product is and tell me what it does. And here's why. She is completely overloaded. I'm overloaded. I mean, is there a woman here? Raise your hand if you don't feel overloaded or stressed in some aspect of your life, because I need to talk to you for some therapy after this. We're just overloaded. Whether we're 20, 30, or 40, or 50, we're overloaded for different reasons, which I wanted to just take and point out today, but we're stressed, we're pressured. And I love this little concept. Just think about this. I need the Cliff Notes version for my life. How many of you in high school or college didn't have time to read the book and you bought the Cliff Notes? Think of her in that way. I have kids. I've got, carpools. I've got camp. I've got husbands. I've got, I need to get the dishwasher's not working. I mean, I'm just overloaded. And there's a shift because before I was overloaded, but I had a philosophy. And the philosophy was I can do it anyway. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to be it all. Well, that has changed over the last 5 years. You can just see in the number of books that are coming out. Mommy Wars. I don't know how she does it. women just aren't happy anymore. Just start looking at all the books. It's a cultural shift that says, guess what, honey? You don't have to do it anymore. So she's decided, I'm not going to do it anymore, and if you don't give me some Cliff Note version, I'm not going to do it. Now, just very quickly, the 20s and 30s are different. I've been spending a lot of time with folks in their 20s, and wow, this is a whole different world what's going on there. Is anybody here in their 20s? Okay, just a few. Fascinating. I mean, the amount of time that they spend like on their phone, you know, doing the text messaging, the MySpace, the social network and the social requirement to keep up with their friends, it's just as much pressure as I feel keeping up with all my kids. So think about it from that perspective. They have school, they have social acquaintances, they feel pressure. We have kids, we have life, we have family, we have jobs. The whole thing spells I'm overloaded. So here's what she's becoming, practical. It's like the new hip word. I'm going to be practical. I'm going to say no. I'm going to do things differently. Now, this is a statistic that every manufacturer I've ever worked with hates, absolutely hates. Even ask me, don't tell me. I don't even want to know. 60% of the market, we buy product because we ran out. I know it's not pretty, but think about that. Think if you were the brand that was able to get into the mind, when you run out, get me. When you run out of product, I'm the one to fill it up. Think about that. Nobody tries to take that space because people just don't want to believe that this is what's really going on. So I want to try it before I buy it. If you can offer that opportunity, 39% of women say yes, and there's a very specific reason for that. And people might not always get what it is, but it's because I don't have time to take it back if I don't like it. It's not just because I want to get the right product. It's all about time. Because if I pull that tube of lipstick out and I put it on and it wasn't good or it cracked, I'm more aggravated that you're now taking time from me than the fact that your product was bad. This happened to me. I had a beautiful Laura Mercier lipstick that I just gotten because one of my girlfriends told me it was fabulous. So I buy it, I bring it home, I pull it up, the thing fell out. I was so upset. I don't have time to go all the way back down to the store. So that's why she wants to try it. So primary way she finds out about product, it's still seeing it in the store because I'm running through getting 5 or 6 other things at one time. I've been using it for years, so I know it. I'm just going to keep on going with it because everything's complicated enough as it is. Or I got a free sample. Free sample still works. It's been one of the most amazing things to me across the country is how much women love free samples still. And how long have you been using your favorite brand? More than 10 years? 37% of the market. It's still a pretty high number in my mind. All right, I really wanted to, the title I wanted to use was Women Are Really Confused. But I thought it might not go over quite as well, but let me just say it. Women are completely confused. I spend almost all of my professional time with women and most of my personal time with my girlfriends and family and daughter and all this as well. We're just confused. We're not exactly sure what we want, okay? And here's some statistics. There's just too many messages out there, and the brands keep changing. One of the things I'm always saying to the clients is just stop changing your brand. I mean, tell me who you are and stick with it. Are you hip? Are you bold? Are you south of Provence? Are you Eastern European? Are you Italian? Is that what I'm buying into? Am I buying into all natural? Don't tell me you're all natural and then throw in something that completely, throws me off. Just figure out who you are and stick with it. And I want to know what my brand experience is going to be. Make sure that I know and understand it. If you look at some of these statistics, I'm not going to read over them, but here's what they say. I'm really, really happy with who I am. I'm really, really happy with how I look. I'm spending all my time trying to figure out how to look like somebody else. I want to look younger, I want to look better, I want to look different. The numbers are almost the same. She's really confused. And then in advertising, I love this one. This was happening way before Dove. I want to see realistic women. I want to see realistic women. I want to see realistic women. That model's not beautiful enough. I mean, I can put 5 or 6 models out on a table. Women will consistently choose as the most effective ad, by far the most beautiful model there. We're just, by nature, we're attracted to it. So it's like, I don't want to see it. Please just give me the most beautiful model so I can aspire to it. All right? Completely confused. What do you do about that? I think we just ride it through. You just figure out who you are as a brand and you just stick with it. Retail therapy lived for me last night at Bellagio, little shop called Chanel there. I was looking at all the women. They were so happy. They were so happy. I mean, you just have to stand in because most of you probably go to a shop and you're actually shopping. I go to the shop and I just stand there and look at everybody. What are they doing? Why are they doing that? Women opening up tubes of lipstick. Oh, did you see that? Look at that. They're so happy. I mean, retail therapy. So if you are on the retail side, I've always felt that there's just something missing. I'm not just coming there to buy the product. I need to feel better. I mean, 55% of women shop to relax. I shop to relax. Sometimes I'm not there to relax, but often, I go to Nordstrom Beauty just because I want to, have an experience. I want to feel something. So make your product interesting. Let me give you an example. So this little tube of lipstick at Chanel, they just came out with, see how it pops up? It's so neat. And it goes up and has Chanel written on it. It's interesting. I feel good. Like you buy it and I feel good. I love this one. I feel happy after I purchased a new beauty product. 65% of women. I mean, that's an amazing statistic for those of you that are in this business. I love that one. All right, so those are things that are already going on that you need to understand and that you want to try and, incorporate into what you're doing. And I don't know, how many people here are like salon owners in the salon side? Because yesterday I had almost all salon people, so today it's a little bit different. Okay. I have a whole other thing for salon owners in terms of what you can do and what women are looking for when they go in there. But a lot of these apply. All right, these are two kind of, we've all heard all natural, and you hear it, but I mean, what does it really mean? What's happening with it? I think that this is probably one of the top 5 most important cultural shifts that has started to happen over the last 5 to 10 years that hasn't even begun to hit a mainstream area, but it's going to. So we're actually going to be studying this very in depth over the course of the fall because I just see culturally that we're changing. We are changing how we think, and part of it is being driven by some of those things we talked about in the beginning. Practical. I just want to be more practical. I need things to be more simple. I need things to be more clean. I'm tired of the chaos. And sometimes you can feel better when you have a more natural kind of process that you're thinking through. So, healthy creates a beauty market. And what do I mean by that? Well, I thought it would be fun to take you guys through. So how do you guys come up with some of these things? Before, it's all been numbers, it's all been statistics. But this is the really interesting part when you're a researcher. You're looking at culturally. What's happening in the culture that's going to translate to me in the beauty industry? Whether I'm a spa, whether I'm a manufacturer, doesn't really matter. Let me give you some very interesting things. A number of years ago, I live in Washington, D.C., and we got a store called Freshfields, and many of you across the country probably got Freshfields. And I remember walking into the store, being a researcher, the first time and just kind of like buying it and being completely shocked at how much everything cost. And then I went back the second time and I couldn't believe how many people were there shopping. I mean, just tons. And then Whole Foods bought them. And then Whole Foods went public. And then I bought Whole Foods because I was like, this is important. People are packing into this store at ridiculous prices to feel good, to feel that they're getting something healthy. And this is what I call organic inside now. So it's really started inside, and that part of it's just beginning. I mean, you've got Whole Foods, but you don't have a lot of competition in that. We're starting to think a lot about the healthy on the inside, which is then going to translate to a lot of healthy on the outside. And a lot of that is also being driven by, protect your skin. Think about that. It starts getting women culturally thinking differently about their beauty products. So that's kind of the first sign. Then we have a shift from solving beauty issues to preventing them. You're just now, in the more kind of urban areas, starting to see some of the, skin basically drinking products. Drink this product and your skin will do this. Don't just drink it to be healthy. The main purpose, the main marketing message that you're going to start seeing is drink this because your skin will feel better. Drink this because, not just to lose weight, we've already had that concept, because you're going to start being able to get rid of wrinkles because of the type of things that we're putting inside of our body. It's going to be a market that's just going to be phenomenal. We'll come back here 5 years from now, we'll all be talking about it. Searching within and using alternative remedies. Acupuncture, yoga, meditation. I'm from Los Angeles. It's kind of been part of that culture for a long time, but it's starting to become part of lots of US-based community cultures. And it's all about, let me calm my mind. If I calm my mind, everything else will start looking better and start feeling better. The number of self-help books that are about, how to do meditation, how to do yoga, how to give yourself a massage, the number of people going to massage school, the number of people actually opening massage studios. These are the types of things that you look at that help you see these trends. Wholesome remedies, if you're on some of the internet chat groups, which are the types of things that we do, just seeing what people are talking about, start looking for the kind of the old things that the grandmother, the great-grandmother talked about, the oatmeal on the face, right? Those types of things. I remember my mom putting beer in my hair and kind of curling it when I was a kid, putting egg on your hair. Start looking for some of these natural type of products coming in more mainstream and people talking about it. And then last but not least, and certainly one of most of our favorites, start looking for lots of girlfriend parties. If I owned a spa right now, this would be like my main marketing method right now. I would be starting to host parties. This is where the bridal parties are going to start taking place. This is where the girlfriend birthday parties. It doesn't even matter what your ages are. I mean, you can look from 20s all the way to the 60s. Where you come in and you get your tarot cards read, and all kinds of those like kind of different feelings are going to start happening. So look for that trend. Here's some other ways. How does that, so you're like, okay, Lisa, like, so what? People are eating healthy, all of this. What does that mean for me? So I'm going to give you an example of how it's already translating. It's going to keep going. No matter how many times the beauty market keeps trying to sell red lipstick, okay, or new different, we're just not buying it. Look at these numbers. 18% of the market says their favorite lipstick is mauve. Now, this is, I'll tell you how we run these surveys. I have a survey, so I'm running the survey. We test it on thousands of women before it actually releases to a much larger audience. And I monitor the write-ins. So we have a list, and we had nude and pinks and berries and browns. I think that's all I had in the beginning. And people have an other category. And I kept seeing mauve, mauve, mauve. Okay, mauve's not for me. And I was like, mauve? Why are mauve? So I add mauve in the next time, and guess what? Boom, top. Mauve is at the top. Nudes, pinks, berries, browns. You kind of see the feelings. The reds didn't even register on there, although we might still like red, but it's a different type of feeling. So you start to see it in the colors that women buy. Here's where I've seen the biggest difference, even in focus groups and the work, the online work. Simple sense. Keep it simple. Now, I put the word clean on there, and if you're in the fragrance business, you're probably saying like, well, that's not enough of a word, Alisa. Well, I'm giving you the words consumers use, okay? I'm giving you the consumer speak, so to say. And clean is the word that they talk about. I don't know, I just like it clean. I just want it clean. I like to smell clean. I love the feeling of clean. When Philosophy came out with the one where they said it smells like fresh white cotton sheets on a summer day, my girlfriend called me. She's like, this is for you. You love clean. This is the right thing. 27% of the market said I want clean. And then floral, musk, fruity, and citrus. So these are the ways that this trend is going to continue to really help define where the beauty industry grows. All right. This is my personal favorite because I think this is fascinating for all of us to understand. I call it VIP world, VIP culture, however you want to think through it. And I can tell you, my personal experience while I've been at the hotel is I haven't felt some VIP sometimes, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And I realized, yeah, that's me. It doesn't matter now where you stay. There's a certain level of expectation that you have, and that's what this is all about. Make me feel special. I would say for the clients, I've come out of working for Escada, so I've been in the luxury end market, and I think they're the ones that are going to have the biggest shift to deal with. But for those of you that are not luxury, you've got the best opportunity, because what makes me feel good and what makes another person feel good is different, but you can really tap into that. I love this. True luxury is losing its cachet. It's becoming democratized. I mean, I remember watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Does anybody here remember watching that years and years ago? I mean, that was when we just didn't, people like regular people just didn't have access to that stuff. You didn't even see it. You didn't even know these like private islands existed, or the concept of buying Chanel or Gucci for mainstream America. It wasn't there. You just didn't have that. So you do now. Everyone is a VIP of sorts. We are brought up culturally. We bring our children up. to think that they're very important people. We're all very important, and we expect everything to operate at a certain level for us. So it's all very easily copied. I mean, all you have to do, I'm constantly amazed when I'm in New York City, and I'm sure some of you are from there, on the corner, how good that Gucci bag looked. I mean, I swear, look at that Prada bag, I'm like, that looks good. I can't tell the difference in that. And I'm kind of in that business. So few luxuries are really left for the rich and famous anymore. I mean, you can go into any high-end boutique, take the top, take Yves Saint Laurent, take Gucci, take even at the Chanel shop. And not everybody that's in that shop is spending a lot of money, but they can all buy a little something. Can all buy a little something. I'm going to give you one of my personal examples of two. So here's one. You know, for those of you that are in major metropolitan area, you probably have been able to get Bliss for a long time. But for those of us that aren't, years ago, getting Bliss was like really cool. You know, it was like something that you had that lots of other people didn't have. So a few weeks ago, I'm in New York City at the W, which is a very kind of like hip, you know, type of hotel. And everywhere in the bathroom is Bliss. And you know what I felt? I had an immediate like, ugh. Okay, it's mainstream. It's over. I'm done. Bliss is out for me. You know, everybody has Bliss, right? This is where brands have to be very, very careful. Now, Bliss may not care because they may have, you know, have a business strategy that takes them over into mainstream. That might be really the way that they want to go. But in terms of being something that was luxurious, that was really special, not when I'm picking tubes up inside of a, you know, hotel. You know what I'm saying? All right. This is my example of true luxury. So what is true luxury going to be in the future? If you're a retailer or you're a manufacturer, you can create some true luxury with your retail outlet. Because I really believe that we're at the very beginning of this. And what I mean by that is that it's all about access to opportunities that money can't buy. Because not that everybody has money, but everybody has the opportunity now to go and buy these luxury products. That's why you don't see big logos anymore. Has anybody noticed? Like, this is a Chanel scarf. And years ago, Chanel had the big C's, remember? Like, as big as it could get. Because I need everybody to know I have on a Chanel. Everybody to know my shoes are Coach. And now, it's like as little as possible. You just don't even want to know. Those that are in the affluent market have tested and said, I don't care if anybody knows I'm wearing Chanel. It's all about how I feel about it now, what the experience is for me. So, I think things like private makeup lessons are going to be important, private shopping hours and special parties. A few months ago, I had the opportunity, we have a store in Washington called Saks Jandal. Does anybody know Saks Jandal? It's one of those family-owned, been there forever, high-end boutiques that carries really high-end designer products that you can now get at Nordstrom, you know, you can get at Neiman Marcus. So they really have had to figure out what to do. So they had a private party for 100 of their best customers and people, and Donna Karan came. She was there, trying clothes on people. I'm sitting there watching her. She's fitting people. That was luxury. Do you know how much those women spent at that store? I can't even tell you. And you know why they spent it? Why do you think they spent it? No, they want to be invited back. We want to go back because that was really special. I mean, I got to see Donna. That was amazing. Right? I want to go back. So I want to make sure that I spent enough so that I got on the list, okay? Not because I needed that new Etro jacket, goodness knows. You got to think through really, really why people do what they do. So limited editions for loyal customers, not enough of that going on. And then loyalty programs. I think that there is one of the worst loyalty programs, and I usually don't talk about brands and what's not working, but I think this one's kind of an important one. There's a national chain, very high-end chain, that has a loyalty program. So you go in, you sign up, and every time you go in, you give them the card. I expect something. I'm spending a lot of money there, and I'm referring a lot of my friends there. You know, a haircut and a blow dry, and you get a facial, and you're there all the time. So I go in, I've been doing it for about a year, and you know what I realized? I've never gotten anything in the mail. Never received anything. No one's ever acknowledged that I'm like this like amazing preferred customer, or not a preferred customer. Maybe I only went in twice, but I've never gotten a communication. So I'm starting to feel like a little aggravated by that. And then I lost my card. So the next time I went, I said, oh, I lost that preferred card. Can you get me a new one? And the girl behind the counter said, no, you don't have to. Just give us your phone number when you come in. And I'm like, this is a company that just doesn't get it. I want the card, okay? I want to have the card with the name on it so that I can show my friends I'm a preferred, or that I remember that I'm a preferred, or to show that there's something special about all the money that I'm putting into this salon. And it made me realize that my preferred status was really not preferred. So loyalty programs, that's what you really need to concentrate on. All right, I'm going to give you, this is my example of what I consider the most luxurious concept and idea. Because this is something that not everybody can have. It's from Abu Dhabi. Okay, you know where Abu Dhabi is? Way, way, way in the Middle East. Now, the only way that you can get this, and later you can come look at it if you want, because I think it's just spectacular. It's really heavy. It is a perfume that was designed just for me. You can't have it. Nobody else can have it. Nobody else can have this exact perfume. I had to send, my husband was doing business there, that's how I got this, but I'm giving you guys the inside scoop. A list of 12 things that define me. And then there's this person in Abu Dhabi who sits there and creates this perfume just for me. And I'm totally buying into this, right? Me and probably thousands of other women across the world going, I gotta have that, it's just for me. That's only my perfume. That's an experience. I show all my friends when they come over. I showed my mom when she came over. Look at this perfume bottle. Does it smell like me? What do you think? Does that smell just like me? This is the new type of experiences that we're talking about. Now, of course, not everybody's going to jump on an airplane and go to Abu Dhabi, right? But what can you do? What can you do to take that concept and translate it and make me feel really special? That's how you want to think about it. Those are some of the future things. Okay. Make sense, everybody? All right, this is the last slide. Did I do it in my 30, well, not quite 35, 45, but you guys will forgive me. So women, when we talk to them and we ask them about their beauty brands, what they really want, and some of you, I know, were in my session today. Miss out on. It could be the packaging. And I wanted to bring a sample. How many people are familiar with the brand Fresh? Not a lot. You're gonna be. You're gonna be. Love this brand. I feel so good when I buy this brand for so many reasons. One, I just love the way that you open it up. It's all different. I love the fact that everything is natural. It's different. It's hip. I feel good when I buy this brand because I feel like I'm supporting something important. They have all kinds of different social things that you can learn about, but you're going to hear a lot more about this brand, a lot more. Think about what the process is, what makes you feel good. The packaging that their products come in always make me feel good. Just like when I open up the soap, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Think about that. How do you demonstrate it's a really good product? Not the easiest question to answer. And how do you help her relieve stress? Since most women are shopping because they need to relieve stress, you have to really ask yourself, how am I helping in that process? What am I doing to help her relieve stress? I don't think most people think about that. You know, if you're a retailer, I think it's probably kind of easy to think how you can do those things better. If you're a spa owner, I think there's things that you can think about. But what if you're the person that's actually in the middle selling the product? What can I do to help relieve stress for her? How can I make things different? Maybe I can send you something. Maybe I can make it easy to return it. Maybe I can, let me give you an example. Here's this is a new little product I'm learning about, the Original Little Sprout. Where's my Original Little Sprout? Okay. So this is a product that I'm really interested in because I think high-end products that women can buy for their children is going to be something very important in the future. And why is that? Just from some of the things I've said today, I feel stressed, I feel guilty. Why do you think there's $100 pair of jeans for like a 6-month-old? There's very few reasons to buy that, other than I'm trying to compensate for something, I think it'll be cute, I want to do something good for my child because I'm not there. Those are all those types of reasons to think through. But how could we take Little Sprout and help relieve stress for her? What could I do? Think through that. I know it's not an easy question. I could put a really big 1-800 number on the back so she can call me if she has any questions, right? That relieves stress for me. In case something happens, in case there's an allergic reaction, in case I'm not sure how much to use, in case I'm not sure if I can use this on my 3-month-old or my 6-month-old, or if it's really for my 5-month-old, or if it's for my 5-year-old rather. So how can you make things easier for her? I can make the packaging. I can make sure that the words and what's on the front here is really cute, because anybody who's given bath to their kids know that once they can really visualize things or start reading, they're looking at everything on the package. So the cuter the package is, the easier it's going to be for me to get my child to let me to wash their hair. So those are just some of the things that you can think through that you can help do that will help relieve stress for them. Okay, I know that's a lot in a very short period of time. I thank everybody. I really wish I had a gift with purchase to give all of you, because I can't believe how many people are in the room. You are so fantastic and so kind to come and hear me today. And again, I would love to send anybody the presentation, and also just, to communicate with people. I had such a good time yesterday chatting with everybody and hearing about different things that people needed and what they were looking for and what's going on in the market and questions you have. So please feel free to email me and chat with me and talk with me at any time. And now I'd love to answer questions. And those of you that I know need to go catch flights, I will totally not be offended if you leave.
Can I get your email address again?
Yes. Maybe I can go to the first slide. I also have my card right in the back of the room, and you can pick that up. Can you put the first slide up? Thank you. Well, it's here in green, but it's not up there. Oh, there it is. It's afb@benchmarkingco.com. Any other questions, or are you guys just all like completely fried now from 5 days of learning everything? Any? Sure.
From that perspective.
Yeah, I can give you an example even from being in having my own company, having to go through distributors. The fashion business still works very similar. We don't call them distributors. We call them, people that rep particularly. So it's very difficult because you don't always get, a lot of opportunity to get down to the consumer level. One of the most important things, obviously you've got to build a relationship with your salon business. And that's a whole different topic, because that's a business-to-business opportunity and how you build relationships with them. So we'll table that one for the moment. But one of the ways is if you can say to your salon customer, you need to get access, right? You need to know who's buying your product, and that's really the opportunity that you're looking for. So how can you convince them to share the customer base with you, because that's really what you want to get. You want to get the customer base so that you can communicate with the customer as often as possible and in a meaningful way to the customer. And if you can share with them, this program that I want to launch is going to help with repeat buys, I think that's how you really want to do it. If you kind of help share data with me and I share with you how I'm communicating to them, then I'm going to be able to have more repeat buys for you. And that's how I found it really worked. I also did something in the packaging, and I think anybody who doesn't figure out how to incorporate that into the packaging is losing the opportunity. So, for example, if you bought one of the swimsuits, they had this great tag on it, and we said, you can get a free pair of flip-flops. Free. I'm telling you, free works. It's unbelievable. You can get a free pair of flip-flops if you fill this card out, jump on the internet, or just call our 1-800 number and let us know you just bought an AXM swimsuit. Because you want to try and get as many of those people as possible and build them into the loyalty program. So think about your packaging and think about what you can do that would entice that end consumer, once they have that product, to either call you, email you, anything. Give them all the options, make it as easy as possible for them to actually get into your database.
Have you done much research on cause marketing?
Well, one of the trends that the first four, the four kind of overall trends that I shared with you, one of the other ones that's going to be coming out is all about the cause marketing. And I don't have the number right off the top of my head, but don't hold me to this, but it was roughly something like 34% of people it didn't matter which household income they were, in the last 12 months bought a product because it actually donated to a cause. So we're really seeing, especially in this particular market and in the resurgence of the all natural, that type of concept, more and more of that happening. I don't think you can go wrong with it. I don't think it's the reason that somebody will buy you, but it certainly augments it.
Hello. What has been going on the last couple of years that you see now starting to go away? That's been really hot and popular.
You know what? I really want to answer that. We just did a study that's coming out August 4th with WWD Beauty Biz. Anybody read that? Anybody read Beauty Biz? WWD Beauty Biz? A big part of that survey is what products are you no longer buying over the last 12 months? And so probably rather than answer that, because that's the main part of the survey that just came out, and if you give me your card, I'll send it to you if you don't get a copy of it, but it's probably, I don't want to share all that, but I can tell you that there are 5 or 6 kind of major themes of things that people aren't buying anymore that you'll find very interesting. So hopefully you can understand. It's just so funny that you asked that question because no one's ever asked me that question. It's August 4th, WWD Beauty Biz, and it's broken down by women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. So it's a demographic study based on age versus on household income. Very interesting. August 4th, WWD Beauty Biz, Consumer Demographics. I think it's the total name of the topic.
What are some of the negatives or complaints about packaging for cosmetics in the mainstream retail area?
Yeah, it's interesting. Somebody else had just asked me about more packaging, and I think next year we're gonna do more packaging and look at more packaging. If I would say in testing products across the country, the one thing that I hear most often is that it's just not modern. You know, there's like a real feeling that the product just isn't modern enough. You know, the packaging's not modern. I don't like the packaging. The case study I shared yesterday, for some of you that were there, was a company that actually changed their packaging and had a lot of problems because the packaging was very all natural and very earthy, and the consumer really liked it, and they tried to take it in a different direction. The consumer wasn't going to let them go there. But I would say there's 2 trends that I really see. One of them is it's just not modern enough. It doesn't look updated. And what they really mean by that is AKA it's not clean, it's not simple, it's not natural. And that's the type of thing that people are really looking for. And the other thing is that we're just hearing kind of black, you know, kind of done with the black. So many people have done black now. It was very interesting when, you know, people like Bobby Brown were doing black, but now there's so much black that I think black no longer says I'm cool, I'm hip, I'm modern. So companies are gonna have to come up with something a little bit different if they're gonna capture the consumer's interest based on that. The third thing, just because I love packaging too, is lack of consistency in the packaging. So they're not sure that that product belongs to this company. A lot of times, and there's 2 companies I can think in particular that for whatever reason, their just packaging looks so different. It's not matching. And that goes back to what I was talking about, Cliff Note version of living. I need to know that that's the product. And I'll give you an example of a company that does it really well is L'Occitane. Their packaging, I can almost like just show the product. I don't even have to have the name, and almost everybody knows who it is. They can just identify it. They all mispronounce it. Most of them, you know, it's French. It's very difficult for most of us Americans. But if you look at that product, you can figure it, you pretty much know what it is. So keep it consistent. Make the look the same.
I was going to ask you about the black.
Yeah, and the black is, yeah, we've seen it. We've been there. Been there, done it, bought the black. Need something different. Anybody else? Well, thank you. I feel like this is like the Oscars, you know? This is like the greatest stage I think I've ever had. It's so fun. All right, thank you guys. Nothing else? We're good. Thank you.